Well, it's that time again for another SCP update. What's up, people? One Nut Punch here, talking about the 0.15 update that came out today for SCP-5K. Currently using one of the new guns that came out called the Draco. They have another one called the MP9, and the third one that you cannot use in campaign right now, which is called the LYNX. And if you know what the LYNX is from playing Arma, you know that it hits very hard, even goes through armor and vehicles, and is pretty much an armor-piercing round. You can also put scopes on it, but you can only mess around with the firing range I'm currently in now. The MP9 is incredibly fast. Put a suppressor on it and spray very quietly. You can barely even hear it when you do stuff. The Draco, do the same thing. Put an EO attack on it and suppressor. You're good to go. They added a couple new areas, but I never really got to it in Area 12, which was 3199 Nest, Parking Garage, and Area 12 Reception and Staging Labs. A lot of the places you're not going to see on here because I couldn't find them when I did my first playthrough on Chapter 2 and 3. I did try Chapter 1, but I had some problems, doors not opening, and some other type of items not being able to be picked up when I needed them to unlock doorways and other entryways. So there is some issues there that might be flushed out later. They added a couple of other creatures in the game called the 3199 Babies, which is environmental. Probably something that you can't really deal with when it's going to be walking towards you because it's probably still like those eggs on the wall. And then they added burning zombies, so now zombies that are on fire will run at you and probably explode. They added a new shootable fire extinguisher, so now when you shoot it, it blocks AI and player vision. Add the investigation system, which I think is your watch. When you hold T, your watch will pop up with dots all around it, as well as your health. The other thing is that when you die, your character will see almost like his eyes close, and then he'll just drop to the ground. They changed that for a brief moment, because when you normally got shot, you just went, you were gone, in single hit. There was no falling to the ground, there was no closing of the eyes. They also messed around with the projector anomaly. It's not going to be, he looks at you, you instantly had your head explode. It's now, he will mess around with you, you'll kind of mess with your vision, and then you can go back to normal when he's not around you. The other thing was they added the ability to load into an unlocked checkpoint from the main menu. Please note that you must activate each checkpoint before it becomes available in the chapter select UI. So if you're going off and doing, like, say, the anomaly, or you're going into the chapter 1 against the SCP Stone Baby, you have to make sure that it is all unlocked via the progressive system. So if you're going to be opening up a doorway and then you have a passcode and then you get killed, then you should be able to go back and have that same passcode in the journal. They added path for spawns to come in the upper area of wave survival, meaning you could only be on the first level. Now you could do on the second floor. The devs also added several hidden and modded weapon pickups in Area 12 Chapter 1. They also added back some secret areas in Area 12 Chapter 1, a hidden armory in Chapter 2, and added several ammo cabinets to Area 12 Chapter 1. So beforehand, you had Chapter 2 and 3 that had a lot of the ammo crates. Now they have a lot more in Chapter 1 because normally you're trying to run around the SCP Stone Baby trying to come after you and trying to get out of there through the double doors, and all you have is a knife. The 3D stuff, they messed around with adding a new GOC skin, the MP9, LYNX, AKS-74, tape recorder, and the SCP tablet that I'll show later. They actually added a tablet to where if you press 4, it'll pop up and you can see the journals, the codes, and everything else you can see from what you picked up from other tablets on the ground. And that is normally going to be your thing to be able to know like where to go, what to do, what journal entries happen, rather than just pressing the escape button and going to journal entry. So that's going to be also a new thing, but I'll show that later. I want to talk a little bit about the combat, and the combat is actually more improved than what it used to be. The SCP guards and the D-class personnel that currently run around and start shooting at you, they're a lot more intelligent. They also have like flanking maneuvers, they scream, they say things to you like they're going to come and destroy you or murder you, on top of dropping the guns that they're currently using against you, like snub-nosed pistols, SMGs, shotguns, and some assault rifles. But when you pick them up, they only give you one magazine, so watch out, because when I tried doing it with my gun that I had a Tavor, and then I died with it, I picked up their gun, they only had one magazine per weapon that was used. When you spawn, you'll sometimes get random guns like an MP5, an AK-47, or even the Tavor, and they give you 2 magazines per, as well as a full magazine of like 8 with your sidearm. So if you have a Glock or a 1911, then you get more for the sidearm there. When it comes down to the actual improvement of the combat, from shooting, the weapon sway, the muzzle flash, the penetration to the screaming, I feel like this update is more improving of combat than anything else. And they did add a couple of things, like I said earlier, when it comes down to a couple of creatures and maybe a couple weapons. But these updates are supposed to be to improve upon Area 12 and do more of the lore stuff for when it comes down to SCP-5K. Now, before I talk about the tablet, the knife had a little noise when he would click it. That actually was added into the game as well. This is the tablet that you use as a utility item. You just normally go on to it, mess around with the different journals you pick up from other tablets, and then it'll show the codes to where you can go to the doorways and open it up. You don't necessarily open up the codes, they'll just show like right next to the lettering on the left hand side. But if you click on 4 again or 1, it'll get rid of it. It's kind of a neat feature, but it's not really useful for me because I still go back, press the escape button into the journal, and goes the same thing. Sometimes it doesn't pop up with every single type of journal entry or even code. The other thing is the deal with the factions fighting each other. This scared the shit out of me because when I'm trying to mess around with the ducking mechanic, which is if you press the control button, you can crouch. The only time you will look over is when you're aiming. Otherwise, you'll stay down in the crouching position. But a crab came up behind me and started kicking my ass. And I didn't know about that or forgot about it because when you would normally go into the garage, you'd just see them fight and then you would go after them. This guy, though, since he annoyed the hell out of me, I ran up to him, sprayed him a bunch with the 5.7, and then finished him off with a Tabor because he deserved it, to be honest. The guy scared the living hell out of me, so these crab things are difficult to kill. Now that it takes a full magazine of a Tabor to drop them. But anyway, they also add in the patch notes the brief first-person death camera when you die. I showed a little bit off earlier. Improved how gunshots stack during large combat situations. And then overhauled the D and guard class AI. More defined underlying state machine to improve variability in behavior, meaning that they're going to be doing different things rather than just running around aimlessly. They will still shoot through walls and kill you, so watch out when that happens, because I don't know why that was never fixed. They do improved investigations, so if somebody gets dropped, they're going to be like, okay, somebody died, and then they're going to go and find out who did it. Same thing if they get shot at, they'll scream at them saying, hey, I'm being shot at, and they're going to come after you. Then they have the visuals were changed a little bit, add a brief first-person death to camera when you die, improved dismemberment, blood ballistics, and blood effects, improved recoil, noise, and reduced screen shake when compensating weapon. That's all I got for this update so far. If there's anything else, any more hot fixes or anything kind of changes with SCP-5K, I will let people know as per usual. And this has been pretty much a fix with some additions added to Area 12. They added those new areas, but I'm unsure if it's Antarctica or Area 12. Whenever I find out, I'll put out a short or a small video and let people know about it. But anyway, I've been One Nut Punch, and this has been another video of SCP-5K Update .15. And that's all I got for now. There's some more videos coming up this week. I'm going to be working on some card games and some VR games that had a bunch of patches, like Tactical Assault VR did Operation Hammerfall and some other things. But anyway, I've been One Nut Punch, like I said beforehand. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.